actually kind of scary. Like there was a point where I was like, I don't want to go through there anymore. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. As you know, Halloween time is upon us. So I have my little pumpkin right here. I wish I had like a little table I could set it up in, but it's gonna be with us, just so you know. We got the vibes going. So today, as you know by the title, I'm gonna be talking about the Halloween Horror Nights event in Orlando, Florida. Now, I love this event. I've been a big fan of it for a while now. So I started going in 2017 while I was in college in Florida, and I kept going every year after that. And as you know, because of the pandemic, last year it was canceled, but this year, 2021, it was the big comeback. It's also their 30th anniversary for this event, so there was a really big expectation behind this. Just so I can let you know some technicalities, the event runs from the beginning of September, so September 3rd in select nights, all the way to October 31st. I definitely recommend it. I know there's a lot of events out there that are Halloween inspired and have haunted houses and everything, but I think that the level of production that goes into Universal's Halloween Horror Nights is out of this world. I think it's super good, and every detail and the scare actors, everything is really, really cool. They also have open rides at the same time, so it's really a fun place to be in during Halloween time. This year they had 10 haunted houses running. I have my list right here. So we had the Haunting of Hill House, inspired by the Netflix TV show. We had Beetlejuice, The Chainsaw Massacre, The Bride of Frankenstein Lives, Halloween Horror Nights Icons Captured, Welcome to Scary, Case Files Unearthed, Legendary Truth, The Wicked Growth, Puppet Theater, and The Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. This event starts around, I want to say like 6 o'clock, more or less, 6 p.m. in the afternoon, and it runs until midnight. Some nights it will run to like 1 or 2 a.m. But for the most part, there is, you know, a limited time that you have to look at all these attractions. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to do everything that night. I arrived late. I had this road trip before then because I live in South Florida, so I had to drive up there, and that's just a whole other separate story. Like, I drove further than I had to, and I had to return, and it was this whole thing. So I arrived around like 8ish, and so I didn't have as much time as I would have liked to look at everything. And also I have to say, the night that I was there, it was super crowded. There was a lot of people. The waiting times were pretty much like an hour per house. They do have an app that is super helpful. Download the app if you are going to the event, because it will tell you the waiting times for each house. So the moment that you see a waiting time go down, you can definitely run to that house and check it out before the crowd starts to gather there. So for me this year, my must-do houses were definitely Hill House and Beetlejuice. And I have to say, Hill House was definitely my favorite of all of the houses that I saw that night. It was awesome. The production was amazing. I got a lot of scares from that house. Usually I will get a little bit scared, or I'll feel like really tense, but I'm not really like a yeller, screamer kind of person, and I remain calm most of the time. But no, like that house had me screaming till the moment I left that house. And yeah, it was super cool. And then Beetlejuice, I liked it, but it wasn't what I expected. I will probably link down below some videos that I saw before I went to the event, because there's actually some YouTubers that get invited to the event the first night or second night of this event, and they actually are allowed to film inside the haunted houses. And so I had a certain expectation of the Beetlejuice house, and I was actually kind of disappointed that not everything that I saw in that video footage from that YouTuber, I didn't see it live in person. I wasn't allowed to film, and actually nobody is allowed to film inside the haunted houses, so I wasn't able to gather any footage for you guys. But yeah, that's why I will link these accounts of YouTubers down below so that you can kind of get an idea of what was going on. The other haunted houses that I did that day were Case Files Unearthed Legendary Truth, which I loved. They have live music inside the house, so there's a scene, and I say a scene because if you know these haunted houses from Universal, you feel like you're going through a movie or a TV series or whatever. So there was this scene where you're in the kitty cat club and there is an actual live singer singing, which I think is super cool. And I really loved that house, the effects, everything was super cool. It was my second favorite by far. A little bit beat by The Haunting of Hill House because that house was really scary. But the Case Files house I really loved as well. Those were probably my two favorite houses of the evening. And I also did the Halloween Horror Nights Icons Captured. So this house actually has a different ending every time that it runs, or that's how I understand it. So it's basically a battle of the Halloween Horror Nights icons that have hosted the event in past years, and they are basically trying to prove which is the baddest of them all. The ending scene is always different because they have a different icon winning every time, which I think is kind of cool. And the beginning of the house is actually really cool. You have like all the icons, and I don't know, it has really cool effects. But I will say it was not one of my favorites. I do love the event, and I have been going for a couple of years now, but I think that this house would be a lot more enjoyed by someone that has been going for the past 10-15 years. But yeah, overall I thought it was cool, the effects are always fun, and I had a good time. Probably some of the other houses that I really wanted to do that I didn't get to were Puppet Theater. I know that one was a really good one. It was really high up there, recommended from other YouTubers and bloggers that I saw write about the event. I also wanted to see the Wicked Growth because they say that it's kind of like going inside a pumpkin, which I feel like the effects and the scenery would have been like really fun and cool. And then there's the Revenge of the Tooth Fairy. Now, I did get a chance to go into this house because by the moment I was leaving, there was like a 15-minute wait on this house, which was unseen through the whole night. And I was like, okay, it's my chance, I can go in there. But I actually got really scared to go in there just because I really like fairy tale content, and I hate when like it's ruined. And I know that the character, the Tooth Fairy that they're using for that haunted house is super gnarly, like, I don't know, like blood and gory and disgusting, and I hate going to the dentist and all those things. So like, nah, I was like, this is gonna be like super disturbing for me. And I actually Googled the Tooth Fairy, like what she looks like after I left the event, and I was kind of like low-key glad I didn't go, but at the same time I think it would have been really fun because I would have gotten really scared. But I'll be posting a picture of the Tooth Fairy so that you can share on my disturbingness situation feeling. This year they had 5 scare zones. I usually really enjoy the scare zones. I think they're always really original and really fun. However, I have to be really honest with you, because it was the 30th anniversary of the event and because it was a comeback year, I was really hyped up about it, and I had really high expectations on the scare zones that they were having this year. And I felt a little bit let down on the production level, I guess, and the creativity behind them a little bit. Just because, like, for example, in past years, one of the first years I went to this event, they had a punk vampire scare zone, and they were like dressed up like super cool, whatever, but they even had some of them riding around in motorcycles. Of course, this is like a danger hazard for everyone involved, but like still, I really enjoyed that, and I thought it was really fun and really cool and really high up there in the production value of this event. And this year I didn't see anything like that that stood out to me. as much as I would have liked. So the scare zones were Crypt TV. Now, if you watch Crypt TV, I think this would be really cool. I don't watch Crypt TV, but I've heard from people that have watched Crypt TV that it was a really cool scare zone to watch. Now, they did have the actors restrained to their areas in this specific scare zone. They were kind of like divided into areas. They were not leaving the area that they were in, and they were kind of just like replaying scenes from, I guess, their Crypt TV show. And obviously, you know, yelling at your face if you got too close. But yeah, the production value, the costumes, everything was gnarly and cool, but I didn't really relate too much to it just because I haven't watched Crypt TV. However, it was not one of my least favorites. I thought it was okay, and probably if I had watched Crypt TV, this would have been like really high up there in one of my favorites. I also understand that they can't really leave their areas just because it's still COVID time and they can't just be walking around and spreading their germs. However, the other scare zones did have actors roaming around, so just, you know, something to point out. So the first scare zone that you saw walking into the event was 30 Years, 30 Fears, which is kind of the event's theme for this year with the 30th anniversary. So I thought it was cool. They had little representations of main themes that they've had in previous years, which was nice. I love the people with the, I forget the name, like the really tall shoes that they kind of like walk around, like this really tall wooden platform thing. I'll put the name somewhere around the screen because I don't remember. I'm so sorry. But yeah. I love those kind of actors. They had really cool like pumpkin costumes, creepy vibes. I thought that area was good. Then we had Seek and Destroy. Now this one was probably the one that I liked the least. It's described as a ruthless alien cyber regime led by the controller. So the controller was kind of like in the screen, and it was a face basically like telling everyone to submit and whatever. And you could actually, I didn't try it myself, but they said that you can actually interact with it. So you could kind of like kneel in front of it and it would like shine a beam of light on top of you and tell you what to do basically. And then there were like all these people dressed with like astronaut like suits, which I guess they're the aliens. And I don't know, I didn't like it. I thought that it was kind of like meh, but then again, I'm not really big on that kind of theme, so I wasn't really impressed. But yeah, that's just my opinion. If you like it, kudos to you. Then there was Gorewood Forest. Now, I walked through this scare zone like 1,000 times that night, and it was actually kind of scary. Like there was a point where I was like, I don't want to go through there anymore because I was scared plenty from the scare actors in that zone. Sometimes because I got distracted, sometimes because I just literally didn't see them coming with the fog and everything. Every time I went through that scare zone and I had a drink on me, I had to hold on to my drink for dear life because I would have been so pissed off if I had walked through there with my drink and with a scare I would have like dropped it or something. I would have been so mad. But I think this was probably my favorite scare zone just because I like the theme. We've seen it before in other past events, you know, the forest with the lights and the creepy creatures and everything. But yeah, I enjoy it. I think it's a Halloween Horror Nights classic and I think it's cool. The last scare zone is Lights, Camera, Haction. Eddie's Revenge. And if you know Eddie, he is Jack's brother, Jack the Clown's brother, and Jack is the main character from Halloween Horror Nights. I thought it was good, and I actually have some footage from this scare zone that I'll insert somewhere around here. But yeah, nothing out of this world. I thought it was like a basic what a scare zone should be, but I wasn't like blown away. maybe I didn't understand it. I don't know. And then there was also some live entertainment shows. You had Marathon of Mayhem and the Halloween Nightmare Fuel. I didn't go to either of them. I was just too entertained with the scare zones, the houses, and I love looking at everything. I love going to the Wizarding World area during this time because it's not crowded at all and you get to see everything at night, which I think is super fun. So yeah, I wasn't really in a rush to go see those events, but definitely if you want to get the full Halloween Horror Nights experience, it's a cool show to watch. They have acrobats and, you know, lights. I know they had like a magic show going on, so you know, there's something for everyone during Halloween Horror Nights, which I think is really fun. And the rides that they have open this year are Revenge of the Mummy, which usually it's always open during Halloween Horror Nights. They have, well, the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. A lot of the shops are open, and the rides, they have Escape from Gringotts, which I wanted to do, but I didn't get to because by the time I got to the line, they were closed. Then there's Men in Black and Transformers and the Hollywood Rip Ride Rocket, which that is a heavy duty roller coaster that I'm too scared to get on. So yeah. They also have special Halloween Horror Nights food. In my bucket list, I had the pizza fries, which are iconic for this event. And unfortunately, I was so scared and tired that I was not hungry at all. So I didn't get to those and I'm so sad, but I'm gonna try and recreate those. Like, if you're interested, let's try like a homemade recipe for pizza fries because I think that might be really good. But yeah, I wanted to try the pizza fries, the s'mores fries, which are kind of like the sweet version of this pizza fries. And yeah. I didn't try any food, unfortunately. They also had gyoza or dim sum or some kind of dumpling that looked really good. And they also had, I don't know, a lot of good food, but unfortunately I didn't try any because I was just like too out there. Like I had a plan of going to Halloween Horror Nights and trying all these foods, and I didn't, guys. I was just like too interested in like the activities and looking, and you know, there's a lot going on and it's very entertaining and very overwhelming in a good way. So I definitely recommend Halloween Horror Nights for anyone who is merely interested. If you enjoy Halloween, if you like scary movies or like the feeling of getting scared sometimes, especially if you go with friends, I think it's really fun. Even if you don't like being scared, but like being scared with friends is always fun. And yeah, overall I think it's a great time, and I will probably do it again next year if I'm able to, if I have the time off work and everything, definitely. So yeah, that was all for this video. I'll try to post some footage here and there of the night, and I'll link some accounts that actually filmed inside the houses. Thank you so much for watching, and happy Halloween.